With the growing escalation between Israel and Lebanon, the IDF has claimed fresh attacks against Hezbollah. Israeli fighter jets struck military targets inside South Lebanon. This comes as U.S. continues to urge de-escalation between the two. The Israeli forces have also claimed to have fired artillery towards Alma al-Shaib. As per reports, the IDF dropped phosphorus bombs on towns near forests, causing fires to break out. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Monday. At the meeting, Blinken urged Gallant to further avoid escalation with Lebanon. The United States has warned that an Israeli offensive on Lebanon will trigger an Iranian response, triggering a broader war in the region.
Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant arrived at the U.S. State Department for talks with top American diplomat Antony Blinken on Monday. The visit comes amid U.S. calls for a ceasefire in Gaza and for the development of a realistic post-war plan, according to State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller.
We have been quite consistent that for there to be an enduring defeat of Hamas, there needs to be a plan for what replaces them. And what replaces them needs to be Palestinian-led governance. It needs to be realistic security plans. It needs to be realistic reconstruction plans. And that's what we continue to work towards with our Arab partners in the region, and as we continue to push the government of Israel to properly consider.
Washington has warned Israel that the absence of such a plan could trigger lawlessness and chaos, as well as a comeback by Hamas in the enclave. After the meeting, Gallant didn't address this point with reporters, but did say the alliance with the United States is extremely important to the future of Israel. He also met with advisors to President Joe Biden, as well as CIA Director Bill Burns Monday, in discussions he called critical as Israel deals with Gaza and escalating hostilities on Israel's border with Lebanon, where exchanges of fire with Hezbollah have stoked fears of wider conflict. He's set to meet with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on Tuesday.
Meanwhile, on Monday, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that he is committed to the proposed post-war Gaza plan and a hostage deal. As per the Israeli military chief Herzi Halevi, the remaining Hamas forces in the South Gaza Strip have been nearly dismantled.
We are committed to the Israeli proposal that President Biden welcomed. Our position has not changed. The second thing, which does not contradict the first, we will not end the war until we eliminate Hamas and until we return the residents of the youth and the north safely to their homes.
And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen to this.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant to discuss a possible deal to free hostages in Gaza and avoid further escalation in Lebanon. The meeting aimed to reach a diplomatic resolution to the ongoing hostage impasse, but also tensions have been rising between Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah, and the U.S. also hopes to bridge that gap between Israel and Hamas as well. Now, the State Department did admit that the U.S. has paused the shipment of high-payload munitions to Israel, but it also said that it continues to provide other weapons committed to quote-unquote Israel's security. The United States also wants to work with Israel on a longer-term arrangement after fighting ultimately ends in Gaza. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.